A 6-dog team runs away without a musher along a busy road in Fairbanks, Alaska. The owner reportedly just finished a dog sled race and was showing kids how to sled when they fell out and the dogs took off. The dogs were eventually rounded up safely. Singer Miley Cyrus has been hit with a lawsuit and charges against the founder of Theranos. Those are some of the headlines on the morning newsstand. USA Today reports Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes was charged with massive fraud. Holmes, who was once billed as the next Steve Jobs, started the company in 2003. It promised to revolutionize blood testing. The government says she raised more than $700 million while deceiving investors. As part of a settlement, she will give up control of Theranos and pay $500,000. The Wall Street Journal reports the Senate passed a bipartisan legislation rolling back banking rules aimed at preventing a repeat of the 2008 financial crisis. The bill will ease rules for small and mid-sized banks. It increases the threshold at which banks are too big to fail. The legislation now heads to the House. The White House says it will accept the bill as is. Tulsa World reports Oklahoma plans to use nitrogen gas for executions. Officials say they're unable to obtain drugs needed for lethal injections because drug makers oppose having their products used in executions. The plan calls for nitrogen gas to be used once the state resumes the death penalty. It would be the first time a state uses gas to carry out capital punishment. And Variety reports Miley Cyrus was hit with a $300 million lawsuit alleging copyright infringement. Jamaican singer-songwriter Michael May claims Cyrus's 2013 hit, We Can't Stop, infringes upon a song he released in 1988 called We Run Things. May says about 50% of Cyrus's hit comes from his song. The dismissal of Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Other top administration officials are under the microscope and may be forced out soon. Hedda Nova has the details.
Good morning, Anne-Marie. As the White House shakeup continues while the president picks a new economic advisor, there are signs the revolving door at the White House may not be done revolving.
During a recent stretch that has already seen its fair share of comings and goings at the White House, the latest to step in, CNBC television contributor Larry Kudlow. He was named director of the National Economic Council, replacing Gary Cohn, who announced last week he was stepping down.
The president has given me a chance. I love it. I'm honored by it. I'm honored to serve my country. That's a great dream.
To date, more than 20 senior administration staffers have either been fired, resigned, or reassigned. This was the president Tuesday, shortly after pushing out Secretary of State Rex Tillerson.
I'm really at a point where we're getting very close to having the cabinet and other things that I want.
Three others who may be on the hot seat are Secretary of Veterans Affairs and Obama-era holdover David Shulkin. In February, the Inspector General determined Shulkin and his wife used taxpayer dollars on a lavish trip to Europe. He paid the money back after the findings were made public. Sources say President Trump and National Security Advisor Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster have been clashing over policy. His departure has been expected for weeks. And Secretary of Housing and Urban Development Ben Carson is facing some scrutiny for picking out a $31,000 dining room set for his office. The order was eventually canceled.
If McMaster is among the next to go, President Trump is reportedly eyeing former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, to replace him. Anne-Marie.
Henna Doba here in New York. Thank you so much, Henna. Former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe is scheduled to retire in a few days, but he may not get the chance. The FBI has recommended that McCabe be fired over his lack of candor during the investigation of how the Justice Department handled Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server. Part of the issue is McCabe's role in matters at the FBI and his wife's bid for a Virginia state Senate seat. If Attorney General Jeff Sessions decides to fire McCabe before Sunday, he would lose his pension. CBS News has obtained documents linking a Trump Organization attorney to hush money paid to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Daniels claims that she had an affair with Mr. Trump in 2006 and 2007. Michael Cohen, a Trump attorney, says that he paid her $130,000 not to talk, and he did it without the knowledge of Mr. Trump. But Jill Martin, a Trump Organization lawyer, is listed in court documents as a lawyer for the shell company Cohen set up to pay Daniels. That appears to contradict claims by the president that he didn't know about the deal. In a statement, the Trump Organization said Martin worked on the filing in her individual capacity, and the company has had no involvement in the matter. Meanwhile, negotiations between President Trump's lawyers and special counsel Robert Mueller's office may be coming to a head. Mueller wants to interview the president about the decision to fire FBI Director James Comey and National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. The White House had said Mr. Trump fired Comey on the recommendation of the Justice Department, but the president said later that he was considering the Russian investigation when he made that decision. It was the attack in Parkland, Florida, that prompted a nationwide walkout of students yesterday. Tens of thousands of students from coast to coast left classrooms for 17 minutes, 1 minute for each of the Florida victims, demanding tougher gun laws. The students are calling for mandatory background checks for all gun sales and a ban on assault weapons.
I think a lot of people think that young people don't know what we're talking about, that we're not educated yet, but we're going to be voting soon. A lot of us, we are the next generation. We're going to have to live with whatever laws that the current lawmakers make today. Our voice and our opinion matters more than they really want to acknowledge.
As the demonstrations got underway, the National Rifle Association tweeted a photo of a rifle, an American flag, and the caption, "I'll control my own gun. Thank you." They get shot. Russia's UN ambassador is calling for a joint investigation into the assassination attempt on a former Russian agent in Britain. Russia says it had nothing to do with the attempt on the life of Sergei Skripal and his daughter, but Britain says Russians used nerve gas to try and murder the double agent.
Instead, they have treated the use of a military-grade nerve agent in Europe with sarcasm, contempt and defiance. So, Mr. Speaker, there is no alternative conclusion other than that the Russian state was culpable for the attempted murder of Mr. Skripal and his daughter.
Britain expelled 23 Russian diplomats in retaliation. The U.S. says it agrees that Russia was behind the attack.